You are 7 games into a 10-game series that is teaching you bridge one piece at a time. So far, you have learned rank, penalty avoidance, bidding, hand building, opportunity cost, and partnership communication. Every game has scored at the end. Cribbage scores during the play. That one change unlocks a concept that separates good bridge players from great ones. Tempo. In every game you have played so far in this series, you accumulate cards or build combinations and settle the score when the hand is over. Cribbage does not wait. Points happen in the middle of the action, one play at a time, on a pegboard that tracks exactly where both players stand at every moment. That real-time scoring creates decisions you have never had to make before. Do you take 2 points now, or set up a position that might earn you 4 points in 2 more plays? Take it now, or play for more. That is a tempo decision. That is bridge thinking. Cribbage is primarily a 2-player game, though 3- and 4-player versions exist. Start with the full 52-card deck. Deal 6 cards to each player. Each player selects 2 cards to discard face down into the crib. The crib is a separate 4-card hand that sits to one side. After both players have discarded, the crib holds 4 cards and each player holds 4. The crib belongs to the dealer. At the end of the hand, the dealer counts the crib as a bonus hand. Non-dealer has the better card selection because the dealer must feed useful cards into the crib while trying to keep a strong hand for themselves. That tension in card selection is your first decision point. After discarding to the crib, cut the deck. The card on top of the lower half is turned face up. This is the starter card, also called the cut. If the starter card is a jack, the dealer scores 2 points immediately. That is called nibs or heels. The starter card counts toward both players' hands and toward the crib when scoring happens at the end. The pegging round is what makes cribbage unique. Non-dealer leads first, placing a card face up and calling out its value. Aces count as 1. Face cards count as 10. All other cards count at face value. Players alternate playing cards, and the running total climbs. As the total rises, scoring opportunities appear and must be taken immediately. If the running total reaches exactly 15, the player who played that card scores 2 points. If the running total reaches exactly 31, the player who played that card scores 2 points. If you play a card and cannot avoid pushing the total over 31, you say go, and your opponent pegs 1 point. Pairs score 2 points. If you play a card that matches the rank your opponent just played, you score 2 points. If you then match it again for 3 of a kind, you score 6 points. Runs score their length. If the last 3 cards played form a run in any order, the player who completed the run scores 3 points. The run extends as long as the played cards maintain sequence. Every one of these scores is pegged immediately on the board. Not noted mentally for later. Pegged now. If you hold a jack in your hand that matches the suit of the starter card, that is knobs, and it scores 1 point. It is a small bonus, but experienced players count it into their hand valuation before they decide which cards to keep. After pegging, each player counts their 4-card hand together with the starter card. Every combination of cards that totals 15 scores 2 points. Pairs score 2, runs score their length. A flush of 4 or 5 cards in the same suit scores 4 or 5 points respectively. Knobs, the jack matching the starter, scores 1 more. The non-dealer counts first. The dealer counts their hand second, then counts the crib. That order matters because if the non-dealer can peg out and win before the dealer counts, the game ends there. The cribbage board tracks both players' cumulative scores across hands. Standard game is 121 points. The board has 2 tracks, and pegs are used in a leapfrog pattern, so you can always see exactly where each player stands and how far the gap has grown or shrunk. That visibility is important. In bridge, you know the score at every point in the rubber or the match. You adjust your approach based on how far you are ahead or behind. Cribbage trains that awareness automatically because the board is always in front of you. The pegging round mirrors counting toward book in bridge. In bridge, your contract commits you to winning a specific number of tricks. You count the tricks as they go, and each trick you win is 1 step closer to fulfilling your contract. In cribbage, you count toward 15 and 31 in the same methodical way, and each point scored is immediate feedback. The tempo decision is the clearest bridge lesson here. Declarer in bridge is constantly choosing between taking a trick now, which secures that trick, or ducking, which means giving up that trick to gain control later. Cribbage makes that decision explicit and scores it. If you always chase the large combination and your opponent pegs out before you get there, you learn very quickly to take the certain points now. The crib is a side resource that mirrors a concept you will see in bridge called entries. The dealer has a bonus hand, a reserve resource, that exists outside the main play. In bridge, declarer sometimes has entries to the dummy that allow them to access strength the opponents cannot block. The crib is not interactive the way entries are, but the concept of a side resource you planned for during the setup phase is the same. Dealer advantage in cribbage maps cleanly to declarer advantage in bridge. The dealer in cribbage gets the crib. The declarer in bridge gets to see the dummy and plan the hand before any defense is played. Both dealer and declarer carry an advantage that requires skill to convert into points. You now count as you play. You think about tempo. You weigh the certain point against the better point. You understand that a bonus resource can be planned for before the play begins. 3 games remain in this series. You are about to enter the trick-taking world again, and the skills you have built from every game in this series are going to converge into something you will recognize. Episode 8 is Euchre. Trick-taking returns, but with a trump system that introduces something you have not seen yet, the Bauer hierarchy. The Jack of Trumps becomes the single highest card in the game. That is a bigger shift than it sounds.